Kia ora tātou. Welcome back to the Wargaming Den. Today, the game that I've got for you is another game of O Group. This week we are starting the series of scenario battles in the Normandy campaign book, Battles for Normandy by Dave Brown. It's the first game that we're going to be playing today. Right, let's have a look at the background scenario. So the battle takes place in Operation Epsom, which is the British attempt to outflank Caen in June, I think it was, 1944. And it involves elements of the 15th Scottish Division to take the village of St Manvieu, and they're supported by tanks from the 9th Royal Tank Regiment. And we will take a look at the forces involved. Now the Scots have got a pretty standard rifle battalion for O Group with a Piat section. In reserve they've got 2 Churchills and a Crocodile. The Churchills turn up on turn 6, Crocodile from about turn 8 onwards. So the initial British attacks take place without any armoured support at all. The German defenders are played by Keith, and they are a battalion from the 26th Panzer Grenadier Regiment, 2 Panzer Grenadier companies on table with a medium machine gun platoon, and in anti-tank support they've got 2 Panzerschreck sections. Then in reserve from about turn 5 maybe for the infantry company, consists of 2 Grenadier platoons, and then about turn 8 a Panzer platoon, a single Panzer IV tank in O Group terms are available. Right, let's have a look at the battlefield. Now Keith did a fantastic job of representing the battlefield from the book, as you can see from the map down here. However, I thought it'd be clever and put the 2 beside each other, but I put the actual map upside down, as you can see, because the road runs like this, but then the secondary road runs the other way, and I'm actually located up here, so it's unfortunately wrong way around. For the British, I decided to use the road as the boundary for my companies and have a company push forward, try and capture this orchard, and that would be a jump off point for the reserve company to come on board, and then I was going to push for this building here and this one here. To win the game I need to capture 3 out of the 5 built up areas, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B company was just to go on the other side of the road, pushing up close to the road though to offer support, and I was going to ignore this half of the table. I thought there were 2 ways to do it: do a flanking move this way, or the old traditional up the guts and attack these 3 built up areas with a direct assault, which didn't look like much fun. Now Keith, when it came to ambushes, he ended up having a machine gun ambush in here and also an infantry ambush in this built up area here, and then as you'll see, the machine gun ambush was very effective when it came on. And this is the most forward position of the 5 built up areas that are the objectives of the British, and as you can see, it has really good lanes of fire. We played orchards, so you could actually see right through them concealed. In future we're going to change the rules a wee bit. We discussed afterwards for orchards. Machine guns were slightly too effective. But yeah, we'll get on and have a look at the battle, see how it plays out. But here's my start line down here. I think it's about 6 or 8 inches on, and Keith can deploy from memory, I think up along the river line here, so he can deploy as far forward as he likes. But that being said, he's only got 7 infantry platoons defending at the start. He's got the 6 rifle or Panzer Grenadier platoons and a medium machine gun platoon, so he's not got much in the way of anti-tank or other support. Defenders deployment, what does that mean, Keith?
2 ambushes, 2 turns of introduction for deploying onto combat patrols, 5 combat patrols.
Awesome. And I have no idea what mine means.
You've caused 1 platoon of casualties out of my reserves. You have reduced my battalion headquarters by 1. You have 3 on-table platoons and 4 combat patrols.
Perfect. Glad one of us knows the rules. Turn number 1 orders for the British. They get 8 company orders, 1 battalion order. Keith rolls almost exactly the same, 1 battalion order. He gets 7 regular orders and 1 non-order as well. So we are even on that, but I think I've got more battalion orders.
You do?
British got turn 1 and immediately pushed forward to the orchard, which unleashed hell in the form of Keith's favourite weapon, the medium machine gun, that immediately suppressed me. I pushed forward with a combat patrol over there. I pushed 2 platoons forward and they tried to shoot the machine guns unsuccessfully, and in his turn Keith has deployed a couple of platoons on the flank there and also hit this platoon with his battalion mortars towards the end. So 2 shock, suppressed. The British are feeling the pain on the end of turn 1. Okay, so let's take a quick look at my first turn. So I had 4 platoons on companies. I put 2 platoons from each of my companies on board. I pushed up here, and also I think I rolled something like an 11. These guys raced up to just over the stream, and that's the very first turn, moved the game, and then the machine guns opened up from here. So I pushed forward 2 more platoons. I put a lot of fire into here. Both these platoons fired and they got return fire and suppressed. Also my battalion mortars, but I didn't put a single shock on this medium machine gun platoon in the buildings here, and that's the aim point for my battalion mortars. Then towards the end of his turn, Keith played an aggressive defence, which is probably something we both like to do, and push forward 2 platoons here. And so if you look at my B company, you know, these guys are potentially isolated and taking fire from 1, 2, 3 platoons. So I wasn't very happy with the way that the first turn ended up. Actually, this was the objective of my reserve company. I was thinking about doing this, but I thought there's no way I'm going to get that far up the table, so I went for this one. But as it turned out, I was able to push up quite far later on. So yeah, an interesting turn 1, but the medium machine guns definitely making their presence felt. Turn 2 orders dice. The British reeling from that medium machine gun blasting early on. We've got a hesitant company. 1, 2, 3. It's the one on the left. It is the one on the right is hesitant. Keith, on the other hand, has 7 regular orders and 2 battalion orders. The momentum is shifting for turn 2. Turn 2. This company was hesitant. The British pushed up into this wood up here and got slaughtered in this woods thanks to the medium machine guns and the battalion mortars. They killed a whole platoon and they got a couple of other things. So it's 6-0. The end of turn 2. The British are reeling. Inconceivable. Right, so turn 2 was not ideal for the British. 1 shock on these guys. That means the battalion mortars have ranged in. 2 shock on them. As you can see, orders have been passed. Another patrol maybe up there, but check this out. 2, 3, 5 dies from the machine gun. So the machine guns have fired as a reaction fire. They've fired as their regular fire, and they've also had a second company order to fire again. So they have done a world of hurt, and I've lost a platoon, and those guys are on 2 shock in there. So here's my combat patrols. So not ideal, and up there it looks like the other ambush has been sprung as well. So Keith is putting the pressure on. 6-0 at the end of turn 2. That's far from ideal. Let's have a look what happens next turn. Turn 3, I get 2 non-orders and 6 regular orders, no battalion orders. Keith gets a hesitant company, which is the one based here, which is good for me. 3 battalion orders and only 3 regular orders. Interesting. But turn 3, things are looking interesting. The British have continued to press home the advantage around here, or pretend to. They have suppressed that unit in there now, but we've been taking heavy fire from mortars and Panzer Grenadiers over here. I got sneaky and deployed a platoon at the end. Was countered by another platoon, but look here, this is where we did our first casualty. The Germans have lost a stand now, thanks to a regimental artillery strike, and the Germans ran all the way back there. So currently it is 7-1 as we start turn 4, and we can vaguely hear the sound of Churchill tanks grinding away in the distance, but not close enough. Orders on turn 4. British get 6 company orders, no battalion orders again. Keith's trying his best to give me a chance by going hesitant again. He gets 2 battalion orders and 4 regular orders. Which company this time?
1, 2, 3.
It's going to be over there.
Does over here?
Oh, the same company.
He's got the panics.
They don't like it. Upham. No. Turn 4. Not a great deal of action for me, except I chased the Panzer Grenadiers out of that built-up area, captured it, and they're running all the way back to Germany. They're not going to rally next turn. Otherwise, I don't think I took any losses. There was a big artillery strike here, actually, the regimental guns, but they didn't. There was 3 targets. They didn't actually kill anybody, unfortunately, for the Germans. But interesting. On to turn 5. I really need Churchills. Turn 5, 1 battalion order, 5 regular orders for me. Keith gets 2 battalion orders, 4 regular orders, and is trying his best to get his. But now he's got 3 companies on.
Yes, he has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
It is the same company.
No, it's the newly
arrived. It's the newly arrived company is hesitant. Interesting. Turn 5, we went second. Our artillery strike hit the infantry and the medium machine guns, and both retreated. The medium machine guns are fully suppressed now. Over here, I pulled back from these 2 platoons, fired, missed, but then got 2 shock on me in reply. And Keith didn't have a great deal of dice, but his medium machine guns did do some damage over here. Did a second foo bar. So I'm sitting at 9. Keith's still sitting at 2, I think. So a long way between us, but I have some Churchills. Okay, my attack is definitely stalling. I've got 3 units suppressed, 3 platoons back here. Another platoon is down to just 1 section here, trying to retreat away from the Germans. Put another platoon over here, and they have 2 shock on them. These guys are down to 1. They're suppressed as well. Not ideal. I have captured there. The Germans that retreated, I think they're suppressed back here. And the other platoon have retreated back there, and the machine guns were suppressed and retreated back there as well. So I've captured this objective. I'm just running out of steam and also getting very close to my break point of 12 losses. So things are looking not ideal from the British point of view. Turn 6. British have got 2 foo bars now, so we're down to 5 company orders, 1 battalion order, versus 2, 4, 6, 7 company orders and a battalion order. So Keith has the advantage because I've got 2 battalion orders, he's going to have 4. Unfortunately, Keith just suppressed these guys, charged in, did 5 hits on them, killed 2 stands, which meant these Churchills just slink off back towards the British beaches because it's 12-2. An absolute smashing by the Germans. Who said these missions were balanced? Ouch, what an absolute hiding that game turned out to be. Those medium machine guns just were unstoppable. They started well. I was on 6 losses by the end of turn 2, and Keith didn't let up. Played in an aggressive defence that worked really well. We talked about it afterwards, and he only had 7 platoons. He was very worried about my tanks and trying to do as much damage before they came on as possible. Afterwards, we talked about using smoke to screen the medium machine guns early on, and I think that was a good idea. I haven't really started experimenting with smoke in these rules yet, but I definitely agree with them on that particular point. We could have masked the machine guns and got ourselves into a bit of a better position. The first turn, though, he must have saved, I don't know, 10, 12 saves for the Germans. They were usually obscured shots, to be fair, not spotted, so needing to save on 4+, but he didn't fail a single save, so I didn't manage to put any shock on him. And because they throw out such good firepower, 12 dice, well worth giving them a second company order and using them as a reaction order as well. And when I was attacking, trying to advance, I was having 6 dice to start with, losing 2 for moving, losing another 2 because the machine guns were in built up areas, so meant it was really hard for me to get firepower. Very different from the games we've been playing, from the point of view that this game our forces were preset and the Churchills weren't coming on till later on in the game. Usually I'd have some Shermans or something to offer direct fire HE support to try and deal with things like medium machine guns. So maybe one tactic in this one would have been to be a bit less aggressive early on, wait round a few turns till the Churchills came on. But I thought if I could grab that wooded area and orchard early, set myself up to attack the 2 far objectives, then when the Churchills came on, hopefully I'd have been in position to take the objective in the picture there, which is the one where the machine guns, the one in the down here, this one here, which is where the machine guns were, that would have maybe been able to focus on that a wee bit more, but wasn't to be. Great game though, and not an easy scenario. It turned out very one-sided, 12-2, but I think if we replayed it again, we would have very different results. That's which I think is the hallmarks of a good fun scenario. So enjoyed that. So good start to the Germans in the little narrative campaign that we've started, and we are on to the second game, which I think is Phase Line Casino next game, and in that one the Churchills will be starting on the table. So if you made it this far, really appreciate your watching, and until next time, take care, ka kite